The cameras flashed, the A-list crowd cheered. I mean, it was the ultimate indie pop fairy tale. But then 3 years later, the Instagram grid just goes totally dark.
Right, the wedding ring vanishes.
Exactly. And just like that, Hollywood has a brand new obsession.
It's honestly the kind of sudden vanishing act that leaves everyone, just wondering what actually goes on behind closed doors.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome to StarScope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we take a deep dive into the stories behind the fame.
And today is a big one.
Oh, massive. Today we're investigating the sudden unraveling of Jack Antonoff and Margaret Qualley's marriage, and we're using that headline, Jack Antonoff and Margaret Qualley split after nearly 3 years, as our foundation today.
Because when that headline broke, it honestly wasn't a shock to a certain corner of the internet.
No, not at all. So we're going to examine the digital clues fans caught way before the media did. We'll look into the messy ghosts of past relationships and the startling statistics behind why celebrity marriages are just seemingly cursed.
Yeah, because when a relationship that's built under a microscope begins to fracture, the cracks always show up in the most unexpected places.
Always. Okay, so let's set the scene. It's July 3rd, 2026.
Right.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are having this massive internet-breaking wedding in New York City. The paparazzi are completely swarming Madison Square Garden.
Just absolute chaos outside.
Yeah, totally. And Jack Antonoff, who is basically Taylor's musical right-hand man, he shows up, but he is entirely solo.
Wait, he brought his sister, right?
Yeah, he brought Rachel. But his wife of 3 years, Margaret Qualley, is literally nowhere to be found.
Which immediately set off alarm bells for anyone paying attention.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the background here. Jack and Margaret had this whirlwind, highly publicized romance.
Oh, it was everywhere.
They met in 2021, and Jack literally told Howard Stern that meeting her felt like a freaking Hallmark movie.
Wow.
Yeah, he said he started imagining marriage the second he saw her. And Margaret was telling Harper's Bazaar how finding her person was just the best feeling in the world.
And remember their wedding? Back in August 2023, it was the definition of star-studded.
The New Jersey coast one.
Right. You had Taylor Swift, Lana Del Rey, Zoe Kravitz, Channing Tatum. I mean, everyone was there. Jack even joked on Seth Meyers about how he performs for a living, right? So he's totally fine with attention. But as soon as his own wedding started, his whole body was just instantly drenched in sweat. Like the gravity of it just hit him.
Right, because they were the couple that seemed completely enveloped in this creative indie glamour bubble. But fast forward to that July 2026 Swift-Kelce wedding.
Yeah, totally different vibe.
Jack is photographed arriving, and his body language is just fascinating. He's got his hands shoved so deep into his pockets.
Trying to hide the hands?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The paparazzi couldn't even get a clear shot to confirm if he was wearing his wedding ring or not.
Though, to be fair, he was spotted wearing it later that same day. But honestly, the damage was already done. The internet was fully activated at that point.
Oh, absolutely.
At first, the alibi floating around was just your standard Hollywood PR spin. People were saying, oh, Margaret is an in-demand actress, she's just busy filming.
The classic schedule conflicts excuse.
Right.
It's always the easiest card for a publicist to play.
But wait, every working couple has schedule conflicts, right? People work night shifts, military couples deploy for a year, ER doctors work insane hours. And they don't just automatically divorce.
No, they don't.
So why is a Hollywood schedule suddenly treated as this lethal combination?
I think it comes down to the isolation of fame. Like, when a military spouse deploys, there's usually a very structured support system back home.
That makes sense.
But when a movie star goes on location to film for 4 months, they are surrounded by an ecosystem of enablers. Assistants, handlers, people whose entire job is to just remove friction from the star's life.
Oh, wow.
You create this artificial reality. You lose the grounding rhythm of a normal partnership. So when fans heard the "she's just filming" excuse, they were already highly skeptical.
And as we know, the internet is undefeated. Fans and then outlets like TMZ, they started doing the math.
They went straight to her IMDb page.
Exactly. They realized her current movie, King Snake, which she was filming with Michael Shannon, had actually wrapped production in June.
Right.
And her next big project, which was a remake of Possession, it hadn't even started filming yet.
So the whole schedule conflict excuse was completely debunked in, a matter of hours?
Literally hours. And this is the moment we cross from just casual media speculation into full-blown digital forensics.
Yes. The fans didn't stop at her filming schedule. They went straight to her social media presence to audit the relationship.
It's wild. A modern celebrity breakup is essentially a digital crime scene.
That's a great way to put it.
Before the lawyers are even called, before publicists draft those little notes on the Notes app asking for privacy, the public already knows the relationship is dead based on the grid.
Yeah, because Margaret systematically went through her Instagram and scrubbed all traces of her wedding photos.
She didn't just delete the app from her phone to take a break from the noise. She went in and actively curated her digital history to erase that day.
She even changed her username.
Oh, yeah. She used to be at Isimo Star, right? Which was this really sweet nod to Jack's song Isimo.
Right, and she changed it back to this highly formal at Sarah Margaret Qualley 23.
Which is basically a neon sign saying, "We are done."
The psychological mechanism here is intense, though. In the digital age, you don't just figure things out privately when a dynamic gets rocky. You are basically forced to reconstruct your single identity in plain sight.
It's so true.
The Reddit sleuths, specifically over on the FoamWise subreddit, they caught her unarchiving old photos of herself, seemingly to fill the gaps left by the deleted Jack photos.
Imagine the pain of a failing marriage, compounded by the exhausting task of manually untangling your digital lives, all while millions of people watch and refresh your page.
You're curating your own tragedy for an audience.
Yeah. And Jack wasn't entirely passive in this digital uncoupling either, by the way.
No, he wasn't.
His band, Bleachers, they quietly removed the song Margaret, a song literally named after and written for her from their tour set list after their June 13th show.
So you don't even need a press release anymore. You just need to notice a changed Instagram handle and a missing track on a set list.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
creates an incredibly claustrophobic environment for a couple trying to navigate a crisis.
Absolutely.
But if you think a missing Instagram post or a changed handle is wild, wait till you hear what came next.
Oh, it gets so much messier.
We are going to untack the highly public history that was dragged right into the middle of this split. And hey, if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead in this deep dive.
Because the present is rarely unattached from the past,
Yeah.
especially in Hollywood.
Right. Because you don't scrub an entire marriage off your grid just because you argued about who picks up the dry cleaning.
No, definitely not.
So what actually broke this Hallmark movie romance? The reported reasons for the split are almost surprisingly mundane at first glance.
Communication and decision-making issues.
Yeah. Sources told People magazine that Jack was very, quote, particular about how he liked things done. And Margaret felt her perspective wasn't being heard or given equal weight.
Which is, frankly, a very common marital struggle.
Right. But it wasn't just the present day-to-day friction crowding their marriage. It was the past.
Specifically, Jack's highly publicized relationship with Lena Dunham.
Yes. They dated for over 5 years, from 2012 to 2018. And then, in April 2026, right as Jack and Margaret's marriage is reportedly getting rocky landhood, Lena Dunham drops a memoir.
Titled Famesick.
And Famesick was not a light, breezy beach read.
Not at all. It contained incredibly visceral, intensely personal revelations about her time with Jack.
She detailed her 2017 hysterectomy for endometriosis. She described waking up from surgery, foggy from the anesthesia, to find Jack weeping over her in a blue surgical cap.
Just heaving these massive sobs.
Right.
But she also admitted to cheating on him during their relationship in the book. And she wrote that Jack had developed, what did she call it, a closeness with a teen pop star that struck an odd note.
Which is just an explosive thing to put in a book.
Totally. And what's truly devastating is how she summarized their dynamic at the end. She wrote that they were acting like they had 6 school-age kids they were in danger of losing custody of.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like they were basically staying together out of a sense of inherent goodness rather than actual romantic viability.
Let's just pause and think about the psychological impact of that timing.
It's brutal.
You are Margaret Qualley. You're already in a marriage where you feel unheard.
Yeah.
You are constantly separated by your filming schedules and his touring.
Right.
And suddenly your husband's ex-girlfriend drops a best-selling book unpacking the most intimate, traumatic, and messy details of their past.
Yeah.
Is a high-profile past relationship basically just like carrying around emotional luggage that the whole world has a tracking number for?
That is exactly what it is. When you marry someone in the public eye, you are marrying their public history too.
Wow. Yeah.
And when that history is commodified in a memoir, it forcibly injects past trauma right into your current reality. And this is really where parasocial relationships come into play.
How so?
Well, fans read this deeply personal memoir, and suddenly they feel like they own a piece of Jack's history. They feel entitled to weaponize his past against his current marriage.
Oh, the internet reaction to Famesick was absolutely brutal.
Unforgiving.
The Reddit threads were just blowing up with people leaving comments like, imagine fumbling Margaret Qualley.
Right.
And once the blood is in the water, the blind items start surfacing. Gossip sites began reporting all these alleged public shouting matches between Jack and Margaret at a local cafe back when they were just engaged.
It creates a narrative snowball effect. Once the public decides the marriage is in trouble, they retroactively look for every flaw, every argument, every weird look on a red carpet, just to justify the breakup.
Because the internet loves a villain.
Exactly.
Right.
It's much easier to digest a breakup if we can point a finger and say, oh, he was terrible or she was impossible.
But the reality is almost certainly a much grayer combination of those fundamental communication breakdowns we talked about and the immense crushing pressure of trying to live a private, intimate life under a public microscope.
Yeah. You are dealing with real marital issues while millions of strangers literally dissect your spouse's ex-girlfriend's book.
Which is insane.
That kind of external pressure can definitely accelerate a breakup that might otherwise have been solvable in private.
It really feels like they were doomed by the sheer scale of the spotlight, which makes me wonder, is it just them? Or is this a feature of the system itself?
Wow.
Later in the episode, we'll talk about the shocking statistical twist nobody saw coming.
Yes.
The actual math behind why these celebrity fairy tales are so often doomed from the very start. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss how this all connects to a much bigger, slightly terrifying Hollywood pattern.
Because Jack and Margaret's story, as unique as it feels to them, is actually part of a very well-documented systemic phenomenon in celebrity culture.
Right. There is hard data proving that this exact type of fairy tale pressure actively destroys these marriages.
Yeah, we have data from an organization called the Marriage Foundation.
Okay, lay it on me.
So they tracked 572 high-profile celebrity couples whose weddings took place from the year 2000 onward.
572, that's a huge sample size.
It is, and the statistics are genuinely staggering. Think about all the advantages celebrities have, right?
Sure. Infinite financial resources. The best therapists money can buy.
Nannies, private chefs, private jets to bridge long distances.
Yeah, they have it all.
Yet, despite all of that, celebrities divorce at exactly double the rate of the general population.
Double? Wait, so what is the actual percentage?
Within 10 years of marriage, the divorce rate for celebrity couples is a massive 40%.
Wow.
Compare that to just 20% for the UK average over that exact same time frame.
That is wild. I mean, we all know the extremes that skew that data slightly, right?
Like Britney Spears' infamous 55-hour marriage.
Right. Or Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries lasting, 72 days?
Yeah. Or Pamela Anderson's multiple short-lived unions.
Exactly. But a 40% failure rate over 10 years is wild when you consider they don't have the standard financial stressors that break up a massive percentage of normal marriages.
No, they don't.
So if money isn't the problem, what is? I was looking at the theory from family court judge Sir Paul Coleridge at the launch of the Marriage Foundation.
Yes. His theory is fascinating.
He calls it the Hello magazine or the Hollywood approach to marriage. Is he basically saying the wedding itself is the poison?
Kind of, yeah.
Like, you throw this $1 million party with Taylor Swift, and suddenly you've set a baseline for happiness that a random Tuesday in November can never, ever live up to.
That's exactly it. Judge Coleridge calls that the heavier-than-usual bump down to earth.
The heavier-than-usual bump.
Wow, celebrities often have these massive, glitzy, astronomically expensive fairy tale weddings. And they're attended by the icons of the day, perfectly mirroring Jack and Margaret's wedding in New Jersey,
Right.
with Taylor Swift and Lana Del Rey right there.
Right.
Subconsciously, this sheer scale creates a false, dramatized expectation within the couple themselves.
It's like a blockbuster movie release.
That's a perfect analogy.
The wedding is the red carpet premiere. You've got the fireworks, the flashing lights, the custom designer gowns. Everyone is cheering for you.
Yes.
But the actual marriage, the marriage is the unglamorous, tedious day-to-day production. It's the 4 a.m. call times in the freezing rain. It's, figuring out who empties the dishwasher.
Exactly. And when that initial overwhelming excitement dies down, as it inevitably must, these couples come down to earth with a much heavier bump than the rest of us.
Because the drop is so steep.
Right. The contrast between the fairy tale wedding and the reality of a Tuesday morning argument about communication styles is just jarring. It creates immense psychological pressure.
And as the data shows, material wealth does absolutely nothing to alleviate this specific type of stress.
If anything, wealth might just isolate them further, giving them fewer reasons to actually compromise.
And we can't ignore the media's complicity in this either.
Oh, they are completely complicit.
The tabloids, the magazines, they love the build-up. They love the engagement ring photos, the dress fittings, the star-studded guest list.
And they really love the agonizing, dramatic breakup.
Yes. You know what they find completely boring? The happily ever after.
Stability doesn't sell magazines or generate clicks. I mean, the Marriage Foundation report specifically points to Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie as a historical example of this.
Oh, Brangelina.
Right. Despite being together for years raising 6 kids, the media was in this constant frenzied split watch with them.
Yeah, they were.
It was almost as if the tabloids were actively trying to will the breakup into existence. Because a messy divorce is a far more profitable narrative than, a functional family dinner.
It creates a totally toxic feedback loop. The couple feels the internal pressure of the heavier bump down to earth, while simultaneously feeling the external pressure of a media landscape that is constantly predicting their demise.
Exhausting.
If we look at Jack and Margaret through this lens, the cinematic weight of their beginning is almost suffocating.
I mean, Lana Del Rey literally wrote and released a song named Margaret for them.
Right. How do you live up to being a literal pop anthem?
You can't. When your love story is mythologized by your famous friends and consumed by millions of fans before you even say, I do, it absolutely creates an impossible, unlivable standard for your daily reality.
Yeah.
When the Hallmark movie ends and the camera stopped rolling, what is actually left? You are just 2 human beings trying to figure out how to communicate. But you're trying to do it while living inside a myth that other people created for you.
It really makes you rethink how we consume celebrity culture as a whole. Which leads me to this final thought for today.
Let's hear it.
If the Hollywood approach, these massive public fairy tale weddings, if they actively damage the long-term survival of a relationship by setting impossible expectations, are we, the public, complicit in the 40% curse?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Right. We demand the glitz, the glamour, the paparazzi shots of the guest list, but we consume their heartbreak with the exact same veracity.
We do.
Will the next generation of stars look at this data, look at Jack and Margaret, and just stop having these massive public weddings altogether?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Will they choose absolute secrecy just to protect themselves from the curse? It's definitely something to ponder the next time you find yourself refreshing a celebrity's Instagram page looking for missing photos. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.